The second anniversary of the end of the Freedom Convoy took place over this last weekend in Ottawa, and the numbers were a heck of a lot larger than I thought they were going to be. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you're having a great, continuous, long weekend, as I wanted to take some time to cover what was going on in Ottawa over the weekend, especially February 17th, which was Saturday this last weekend, as it appears about thousands gathered in Ottawa for the anniversary of what I refer to it as the end of the Freedom Convoy. If you remember, February 17th of 2022, we seen, of course, Justin Trudeau's invocation of the Emergencies Act coming to full steam. We've seen this is when the police started to move on people, push people back. And it wasn't until about the 18th when we started to see tear gas and windows being smashed and the full force of the police coming out to rid people out of the streets of Ottawa. Well, over this weekend, while rallies have continued to persist off and on throughout the last 2 years, over the weekend, thousands came to show their appreciation in Ottawa and stand up for what the Freedom Convoy stood for and to demand the resignation of Justin Trudeau. Now, this was, again, the signs of a peaceful protest. When you look at all of the protests going on across the country right now, from wars that are going on in the world, we'll say, a lot of those get out of control. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of threats going on. Police are being threatened. People are being threatened. Nothing is being done. Why? Well, because they're not white. I think that, at least that's the best way I can sum it up. But when it comes to Justin Trudeau and the people he hates the most, well, everybody from every nationality who wanted to stand up for the Freedom Convoy went to Ottawa. And just take a look at these numbers. You can see on Wellington here, all the way in the back here. Now, this isn't, again, when the streams started out, and a couple of live streamers, which will show, like Travel Fund 69 was out once again in Ottawa to cover this, and we hadn't seen some of these streamers, the likes of these streamers, since the Freedom Convoy. But we've seen here quite the gathering take place in Ottawa. People way to the back. I'll play this clip, and then we're going to show a little bit of what took place in Ottawa and the repercussions that followed afterwards. But let's go.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go, Canada! Let's walk this! Woo! Let's go!
Many will say that during this time, this was, a lot of people say that February 14th was the day that free speech died in Canada. I strongly believe that 17th was the day that it died, the day that the police actually moved in, the day people were trampled with horses, pushed back, violence pushed on Canadian citizens, Canada's own people, simply because Justin Trudeau hates these people. Now, as the celebrations went on, as the reunion went on, of course, it took to a march through the streets demanding Trudeau's resignation. Again, guys like Travel Fund 69 were streaming there for several hours during the weekend. And, well, let's take a look at what went on during the march.
For rent, then Trudeau must go!
If you can't afford rent, then Trudeau must go!
If you can't afford rent, then Trudeau must go!
If you can't afford rent, then Trudeau must go!
If you're eating out of food banks, Trudeau must go!
If you're eating out of food banks, Trudeau must go!
If you're eating out of food banks, Trudeau must go!
If you're eating out of food banks, Trudeau must go!
If there's nothing in your bank, then Trudeau must go!
If there's nothing in your bank,
Thanks, guys. Hit the thumbs up. This is awesome. Help share it out.
Love to see it, don't you? I love to see this. I definitely sat glued to the TV this weekend watching the reunion. Unfortunately, being in Calgary, of course, I couldn't go to Ottawa to join everybody. But as time went on throughout this celebration, throughout this revigoration of what took place in Ottawa for our rights and our freedoms, and well, you hate to see it, but out of politicians that we've seen, I couldn't find any clips of Pierre, now I know Pierre did a conference over Friday where he was talking about the Freedom Convoy and their lawsuit that's happening against Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland, where he said that he hopes that the charter is upheld and that everything goes through. So, I mean, it's not to say that Pierre doesn't stand with these folks, but I didn't see any other politicians aside from Mad Max himself standing out to talk on the grounds. Now, if anybody else finds footage, or if there was, please forgive me. Let me know in the comments down below. Again, I tried looking all over Twitter, all over news sites. Of course, the media is not really talking about this because they don't want you to know just what went on. But here we go with Maxim Bernier hanging out on the grounds. Let's see what he had to say.
Peaceful protest, and I don't agree with people that are not sharing that point of view. You know, we're not for violence, we are for peaceful protest, and actually it is not a protest, it is a rally. People are here to celebrate their freedoms, that they want to have that freedom back.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Everything good?
Anything else that you would like to add?
No, first of all, you know, I believe, and today I'm a proud Canadian, and I'm proud of these first people here that are here and opening their arms and saying to other Canadians, please come with us and let's have a discussion in Canada about the way that we want our society. Do we want always more and more government that will tell us what to do or not? That's the message of today.
Just on that point, I mean, you would know better than most.
Peaceful protest.
Max has some good points. And like, I've met Maxime Bernier in person. I ran into him at the airport last year, around this time actually, when I was in Manitoba. And I had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with him while we were waiting for our flights. And I'll tell you right now, I like Maxime Bernier. I personally will admit I voted for the PPC in the last federal election. Now, most of that was done because I sure as hell wasn't going to vote for Aaron O'Toole. I wasn't giving it to the Liberals or the NDP. And I like Max's vision. I like his stance. The problem with the PPC is they can't get their seats. I keep hearing that, you know, there's all these guys who say, hey, we support them, we get behind them. And it's not to say that the party is never going to grow or the party's never going to go anywhere. I've often said I would love to see a balance in the House of Commons between the PPC and the Conservative Party, because their views are kind of aligned, but the PPC are the ones I feel that would keep the uniparty end of the Conservatives in check and make sure that things actually get upheld and done. Max had a very good point when he was talking here, and it's the same thing that I saw when it came to the Freedom Convoy, and it's the same thing we saw over the weekend here in Ottawa, is that we're not talking about you know, truckers. We're not talking about anti-vaxxers. We're not talking about anything other than Canadians. This is Canadians coming together and showing the spirit of Canada, telling the Prime Minister that we're fed up being broke. We're fed up not being able to afford our bills. We're fed up not being able to eat or feed our children. You got to go. Trudeau must go. Now, as things went on, we do also have a clip here for anybody who knows how things kind of started to end. Deanna Sheriff, I believe she went under, a lot of people call her, I think it was Rainbow Karen back in the day. She's caused a lot of controversy on Parliament Hill. I know the pleb has covered her numerous times. Of course, if you remember her wild-eyed face when the protests were going on between the trans and Protect the Children crowd. But here we have on Parliament Hill, Deanna Sheriff was arrested and banned from the Hill for 1 year. Now, she's got quite the history of causing physical altercations, we'll say, on Parliament Hill.
And you
what
guys
happened
know
here.
that. You guys know that. You guys know that we don't come get in people's faces with our phone. And you were swimming, guess what? She's always in her face.
They arrested the right person, the instigator right there.
That's it. They're allowed.
Back up, Brooke. Back up. Don't laugh. Back up. Oh, back up. We're going to get into trouble.
Deanna arrested and dragged off. And again, this is good to see because if we look at her history, these are some of her past altercations on the Hill. Now, I haven't checked this clip in advance. I'll let everybody know if there's language in here. I apologize. Let's take a look at what happened here.
Arrest us for what, ladies?
I was standing right here.
What the fuck is this?
It's enough. PPS, need your help.
Okay, just stay away.
We need your help, PPS. Come on, he won't stop assaulting people.
This is what led up to Deanna's arrest, was the continual assaults. We've seen it before on Parliament Hill. I mean, here's another one.
Through a mega tantrum last year in our city.
Okay, you're under arrest. No, I'm not fucking off. You're getting off of here. Hey, come on! Wait. Get her out. Get her out of here. She's stealing people's stuff. She's the worst person on earth. Hey, don't push me. Okay, but you don't need to push me. Stop! It's enough!
We've seen in multiple occasions, and again, her views are way off the charts. And of course, again, if you follow channels like The Pleb, you've seen the reportings on her in the past. And every single time that these things happen, people are saying, well, there's no repercussion. There's no arrests being made to those that are against people standing up for freedom. So it's nice to finally see that we're starting to see a little bit of change when it comes to how things are dealt with on Parliament Hill. Now, of course, it's not the arrest that I'm happy about, but more since the 1-year ban to be told that, look, if this is how you're going to behave, you're not to come back. And that should go for anybody, whether you're on the right side of views or wrong side on views in our world. If you're for the convoy, against the convoy, if you're assaulting people, if you're causing disruptions, if you're physically putting somebody's safety at risk, then you got to go. I mean, you can't be there. And I'm happy to see the police stepping out in fashion to make sure that doesn't happen again. But more importantly, I'm happy to see that this weekend went off very well, peacefully, and that people got the message out about how much they dislike Justin Trudeau. I mean, is there anything better we could talk about on a holiday Monday morning? I mean, I don't think so, but let me know your comments down below. Did you guys watch the live streams? Were you happy to see what went on? Do you think that these freedom protests are only going to get bigger or continue in the nation's capital as time goes on until Justin Trudeau is eventually booted out of office? Give me your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to join us every Friday night here on the channel for Friday Night Fringe as we sit down and go over everything that's happened this week. We'll go over everything that's coming up that we know of in the next week and have a little bit of back and forth and Q&A with the community. It's always great to see new viewers in there and new members coming in to talk to us in the streams, and I look forward to talking to each and every one of you and hearing what you have to say. I hope you guys have an enjoyable rest of your long weekend if you're on the long weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you in the stream. Have a great day, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one.